Welcome back to my starting over series. Sorry, just adjust my volume here a little. Okay, we collected some more science in my last episode when I did that. Got into orbit and collected a little science there. I could have collected a lot more, but I just wanted to get it done pretty quickly. But now that we've got some more money, so I just have to just want the volume just loud enough to keep my ears interested in it, but not that it gets annoying. I don't normally have the background music on. I think I just explained that before, but people like it, and it's a bit of a mask, so I do leave it on, even though it gets a bit repetitious after a while. I don't know if you can put on your own soundtrack or something, but that would probably get me in trouble with copyright claims. Okay, so what I'm going to do is this one here. We've got some nice ones coming up. That one's good because it gives you the launch tower. Not so much launch tower, just a stabilizer, but it does help. But I'm going with this one first because it's got that component there, MechJeb2 module. So it's time for MechJeb. If you don't know what MechJeb is, I'm about to show you. Okay, how much money have I got left? We might as well get this one here. Yeah, they're a bit more. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Got to go out and do some more work. And this one's got more bloody fins. Alright, okay. Yeah, yep, alright. God, that music was... God, I'm gonna have to switch that music off sooner or later. Just hearing those pipes over and over and over again is not good for me. Oh, geez, that's loud. Maybe that's what's wrong, it's just a bit loud. You notice I got rid of the Kerbals as well and the little trucks and things going around. They're cute, but ultimately they're just a distraction, so I usually switch them off. Just excuse me for a second. Oh, I didn't write down the start time either. So well organised. That one I assume. That's our little orbiter. You can't get it much more simple than that, can you? Alright, so what I want to do is add MechJeb2 instrumentation, and the way you do it is this. MechJeb, that's it, the module's there. It might actually need a yeah, okay. Now it's a bit of a funny thing. I don't know if this problem is was it ever really a problem? I put it here, but it is very fussy about how it's aligned relative to the Kerbal world. I kid you not. You might have noticed that when you've always got the we're facing north now, right? If you look out the door, we're facing north in the Kerbal world, or towards the north axis. This particular module here always faces south, and that is actually significant. I won't go into the details why. You got to sometimes consider these alignments, because that would take me 5 episodes. It's to do with the way the underlying Unity engine works. I discovered, it took me a long time to discover that, because I actually did some core programming. It's very interesting. Just check this. Engineers report sometimes tells you it's unaligned. Just see. Yeah, so it says command module facing the wrong way, that means I've probably put it on the wrong side, and it lights up the module, as you can see. Most people just ignore that, but if you're going to use MechJeb, don't ignore it. Try to get it fixed. And it doesn't help that the there's a slope on this capsule here too. But anyway, let's just move it over to here. See, the way I do it is this: put it away, just spawn another one. Spawn just means the thing just appears. See how it's aligned now? It's actually the face of it is actually facing west. That's the proper alignment. So you want to keep it like that. Okay, so we'll put it there, and you notice it's still complaining. Okay, let's try again. Put it down here this time. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, it doesn't like the slope sometimes, I think. Yeah. Oh, it's a bugger because you really want it on the capsule. You know why? Because your ship at some point will be reduced to just a capsule, and you will lose your MechJeb instrumentation. Oh, what can they do? The capsule's got that shape, so you know. You'd think you'd be able to just get it right. Just try moving it down a little bit more, perhaps. No, it's really fussy. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah. Look, let's just leave it here anyway, because I actually want it on the capsule. I'll just keep in mind that I've got a misaligned. See, this MechJeb is like, even though it's in this category here, it is actually behaves like it's a command pod. That's why it's saying the command module is facing the wrong way, and you look at that and think, huh? What? You know? What the heck's going on? It's the internals of the game, so that's all you need to worry about at this stage. Unused monopellet reserve, that means yeah, in this capsule there's some monopropellant fuel, but because I haven't put on any RCS control systems, it can't find where you want the fuel, so it's just giving you it's only information. That's a warning. It's just telling you that you've got fuel there that you're never going to use, which makes sense. Okay, so MechJeb. Let's get rid of that. Whoops. Sorry, wrong thing. What have I done now? Getting all oh boy. Probably the best thing to just shut it from there. Yep, good. Okay. Engineers report, shut it from there. Right. Okay, MechJeb 2.8.4, it's the latest version. I went over to the website to download the latest version, and I was quite happy to see that it is now up to date for KSP 1.7, which is the version I'm recording with right now. So you've got to put that on, otherwise you get no MechJeb. See? Aha. So I was lucky it was just unlocked, wasn't it? Online manual. I bet you that goes and pulls me off into a... Yep. Pulls me off into a website. Okay. This cause all sorts of trouble. Whatever. So we'll ignore that for now. I usually set up my own little window with the instrumentation in it that I like, but that takes a bit of doing, so I probably won't. There it is there. Yeah, you got to pick the things that you're interested in, so it's better to have a custom window for this function, a custom window for that function, but I tend to have one huge one that shows all the information I'm interested in. Settings. Just have a quick look at the settings. Hide menu button. Activate SAS on warp. That's its version of SAS, I assume. I'll leave it there. I won't worry about it. Vessel info. There we go. Just telling us how much fuel and stuff we got in the ship. Don't need to worry about that until you get into it. Delta V stats. Let's see. How do they compare? Oh, there you go. My estimate that I used 3057. I'm glad to see it agrees with KSP. It didn't come up with a different estimate. That is so annoying when you use instrumentation and they don't agree with each other. And you know, well, you definitely know one of them's wrong, but sometimes I just want to be a little bit ignorant about it and not worry about it. Alright. Okay, let's just set up a very quick window, because there is something I always like to look at. Just call it new window. So I think that's the I prefix everything with FJR, so I know it's my tailored info. What would I call this one? Just call it just info for now. I'll worry about getting it correct some other time. Okay, so you've got to pick the stuff that you want. Now the first thing that I like to just see on every screen is the Apple apps. So yeah, okay, there it goes. And after that I want to see the Peri apps. So I'll put that one on. And a lot of sophisticated stuff here, including a just put a little, and this is the other this miscellaneous. Has it got the it's called a separator. There it is, separator. It just gives you a line, see, so you can at least try to give your brain a bit of a rest by breaking stuff up and putting lines on it. It makes it a little bit easier to read. So I'll just put 2 of those on, and we'll just move one. You just move things up and down if you want to. See, it moved it there. I can't remember what I like these days, but let's just Peri apps and Apple apps is tells you how your orbit is going. You can get a lot of information just out of that, and normally you'd have to go over to the map window to see that information, but so I like to see it on every screen. Alright, I'm already talking too much, sorry. I'm gonna have to yeah, check. I gotta check that this configuration file gets backed up. Sorry, I just got to write a note. Check backup. Always, but try to back up your configuration files, because you can put a lot of work into them, and one day you will lose them. Something will go wrong. Okay, I think that's it should have. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it appears there. There you go. Okay, I can shut that down now. I think we don't really need it on this screen. That just rolls it back up again. But let's just go and do another launch. Actually, shift, wasn't it? And I'll show you how you use MechJeb. Save that and launch. And I'll tell you a little bit about the Apple apps and the Peri apps, but honestly, the best person I've ever encountered to describe all that stuff is Scott Manley, so maybe you should go and watch Scott Manley's orbital tutorials. They're very, very good. Okay, so see, normally so you can't even see the periaps and apoaps, or not very easily, which is a shame. They should have just put it on the screen, you know. Oh, they I know what they were thinking. They didn't do it that way, but that's okay. Sorry, I sound critical. I'm not critical. Just, you know, I see things. I'll just click that on that one, and there we go. And you can position it sort of out of the way, and I'll tell you what it actually means. Okay, the apoaps is basically the high point of your orbit, and it says 79 meters, which is basically where the center of gravity of this vessel is right now. Actually, I'll change that to, hopefully they'll match. This says 13. Yeah, okay, they disagree. Yeah, because altitude, do you take it from the top of the ship, the bottom of the ship, the middle of the ship, you know. That's why they're about 17 meters out. But okay, you can see it's almost right. 86, 79. So basically, the ship, technically speaking, the ship is in orbit right now. It just doesn't. You just can't see it because it's not moving. But there is an orbit defined for it right now. It's just not a very useful orbit. How would you describe it simply? Maybe I shouldn't bother. But just trust me. We're at the top part of the orbit right now. And the orbit goes through the center of Kerbal. And now you're thinking, well, what the heck does... Periapsis is the lowest part of your orbit, and it says minus 600 kilometers. Why on earth is it saying that? The reason being, you can't really see it very well. Probably can't see it at all. The orbit is centered on the center of Kerbal, right? That's the top part of the orbit there. The bottom part of the orbit is underneath the surface of Kerbal. Trust me, that's exactly what the maths will tell you. And of course, it's totally useless. Because you want to get it into an orbit that you can actually use. So that's what I'll do. I'll do a launch. I'll just do a quick launch, and you watch how those numbers change. If you're watching the YouTube on TV, you probably won't see them. They're too fine, but you'll have to use your computer. Alrighty, so I'll just switch the SAS on. I'll do this. I'll do a gravity launch. Pretty much any launch that's any angle away from straight up, you can call a gravity launch if you want. For technical reasons, they call it that. A gravity launch or a gravity turn or whatever. So that's what I use that time to get that one into orbit. Okay, so let's launch that. Alright, okay. Let's get this over a little without destroying him. Get over to about 45 degrees, it'll do. And now, stabilizer's on, so it should just stop at 45. So you can see how the high part of my orbit's going up, and also the low part of my orbit is also going up. So we'll just wait till this staging finishes. You notice it's still turning by itself. That's a gravity turn. Oh, we're going to lose it. Ah, damn it. Oh, yeah, we've lost it. Sorry. I might have to, let's revert. I wasn't paying attention. I forgot how touchy it was. What I'll do, revert flight. I'll revert back to launch. It's the simplest thing to do. Now let's try again. This is Kerbal. Kerbal Space Program. Try and try again. Okay, SAS on. Maybe you won't try so severely. Down to maybe 30-degree angle I'll launch to. That'll get it a bit higher. maybe the episode I did yesterday was a fluke, eh? Oh, it's going and turning anyway. I don't know why the yawl's stuck on. It's probably the SAS. Could be the SAS. Actually, it could be the SAS system that's giving us a bit of grief here. So let's just get to the top of 22. Just get up out of the atmosphere a little bit more. I'll get up to 20 kilometers and I'll fire off the second stage. You can do this. You're allowed to coast. Don't be scared of coasting. It sometimes you can get into a better position before you fire your next stage. So don't be scared of coasting. Okay, let's hope that's stable. No, that's pretty stable. That's stable enough. Who needs fins? I hate fins. Have I mentioned I don't like fins? Alright. So the apoapsis is going up again because we're applying power. And the periapsis is also this is all relative to the surface of Kerbal, basically. That's why it's still negative, because the periapsis is below the surface of Kerbal still. Okay, we'll just let him burn out, I think, and let him go into a sub. He probably won't make it into orbit now, but that's okay. I'm just you saw me get into an orbit yesterday. I'm hoping that will go positive. It should go positive soon. Just watch it, watch it, watch it. It's easier to demonstrate when it's out of the surface of Kerbal. I think it'll make it. We've got a little bit more fuel left. Oh, I probably won't quite make it. No, it hasn't made it. Oh, not to worry. Okay, so our apoapsis is now 940 kilometers, which is ludicrous. Our periapsis is we're in out of the atmosphere now. That's why the music changes. Okay, now I'll just see. There we go. That's the apoapsis, your highest point in the orbit. It gives it in meters, but MechJeb tries to put it in kilometers. But you can see it's the same number, right? That's your high point, and your low point, which it hasn't rendered because it's still below the surface of Kerbal. Oh, there it is. It's in there. You can actually see it, sort of. You see that little thing? Add maneuver. Oh, yeah, add a maneuver below the surface of the planet. Yeah, good one. So that's why the periapsis is still in there somewhere. So you can see why I was saying that even when the rocket was sitting on the launch pad, it had an apoapsis and a periapsis, so it had an orbit. It just wasn't a stable one around the center of Kerbal. Anyway, that's all the orbital mechanics I'm gonna talk about in this video. It would take me forever, and I'd probably just confuse everybody. If you think that's a great subject, go and look it up in Wikipedia. Otherwise, ignore it. Just learn the techniques for getting into orbit, circularizing, and some other little tricks that I'll tell you. But you can see why I like using MechJeb. If I'm on this screw, if I wanted to knowing how your apoapsis and periapsis is developing as you're trying to get into orbit is important information, and you'll see that in all the Scott Manley videos. But to actually see it, oh no, I'm wrong. New feature. Okay, that wasn't there before. It's on this. I don't even need it now. It's right there. It was right there in front of me. I didn't even see it. There it is. That's exactly the same information. Oh, there you go. That's a that's good to start again, isn't it? All right. So that's kind of redundant now. Anyway, I've installed MechJeb anyway. MechJeb's good for other things, but if you're just starting out with Kerbal Space Program, I recommend you learn how to launch a rocket into orbit manually and understand that, and even get to say the MUN and MINMUS manually. Then you can think about, say, well, this is getting tedious. Then you can automate it using MechJeb. But if you jump straight into MechJeb, you'll get confused. Anyway, that's a recommendation. You do whatever you like. So, you know, it's good. They've added this in one of the releases that I wasn't familiar with. Okay, what other information have we got here? Oh, sorry, just got to turn that music down a little. I'm going to turn the music off soon. Okay, what other information have we got? Just orbit. I think you can get rid of that screen too, can you? Oh, okay. Don't know. Got rid of that. That closed. Did this close? Nope. Alright, you can see, actually I'll get it back up again. Just check the figures. If they don't agree, then I'll go, okay, 943 kilometers, good. Negative 118 kilometers, negative 118 kilometers. Okay, they're getting their information from the same internal source. Oh, good. Oh, if they were different, oh, that freaks me out. Alright, just close that one. It's funny, it's got a close button there, but it, for some reason it, okay, orbital info, advanced, look at that. Wow, that's a great little toolbar then. Alright, so I can hopefully see that on both screens. Yes, I can. Good. Good. Ha! That's ejection. Oh, I wonder what the ejection is. Ejection. Oh, there you go. And we got a tooltip as well. Oh, even better. Okay, and we've got direct approach info. Okay, I'll show you that later. Okay, what does it say about the apoapse? Altitude. Yeah, it is, because it's taken from the sea level around. It's not the centre of Kerbal. It's taken from the sea level around Kerbal. So whenever you do your calculations, you've got to add the two together to get the true orbital apoapsis. But okay, that's just, they're using altitude just because it's you want to know how far you are above the surface, basically. Like now we're 400 and we're still climbing too. We're going to get all the way up to here. 943,000 kilometers. Okay, altitude, and it just says altitude. Deary me. Okay, all right. And this time is time to reach that, and it give it credit, even though that's not displaying the periapsis here, which is underneath the surface of Kerbal. It's still giving you the information, right? So, alright, what more could you want? Alright, okay. On that note, it's already half an hour. Wow. We're having so much fun here. To install MechJeb, MechJeb2, look it up. I'd rather you work that out for yourself. I don't want to get into installing how to install mods. If you're interested, you'll be able to find the info and you'll be able to do it yourself, and I'd rather you do it than me tell people how to do it and get it wrong or stuff somebody up. So catch you next episode.